2 days ago, we learned that the stay-at-home economy turned out to be much, much bigger than anybody realized. You know how we found out? We found out from Micron, the major semiconductor company that reported a surprisingly impressive quarter when a lot of people were betting against it. Most of us expected Micron to be hobbled by the pandemic. Oh, sure, there's some problems. Smartphone supply chain disrupted for most of the quarter. Automobile end market suboptimal. But on the conference call, they told an incredible story about how all the lockdowns are giving vast swaths of tech a huge boost. Thanks to elevated levels of gaming, e-commerce, and remote work, demand from the data center and from laptop makers, well, geez, the stock surged. But it's a great story, and I wanted to bring it directly from Sanjay Mehrotra. He's the president and CEO of Micron. To learn more about the quarter and where his company's headed. And before we get started, Mr. Mehrotra, not only congratulations for the quarter, but also congratulations for what you're doing for your employees and your pledge not to lay anybody off and to actually boost salaries during a period where we all know that everyone is feeling insecure and worried.
Thank you, Jim. Great to be on your show. Yes, as you pointed out, our fiscal second quarter, we delivered at the high end of the guidance that we had provided in December. And when you think about it, that is really amazing that half of our quarter, we were impacted by expanding coronavirus challenges across the globe, particularly in China in the early part of COVID outbreak starting in January. And yet, Micron team really worked with tremendous tenacity, overcoming the challenges and delivering quarter at the high end of the guidance, 13th quarter in a row with free cash flow. That is really quite impressive for Micron, particularly in this trough quarter. And when you look at the last trough quarter that had occurred 4 years ago versus now,
right,
Micron's revenue has increased 65% from one trough quarter to the next over this 4-year period, as well as our gross margins have expanded by 11 percentage points. And those are dramatic transformations taking place at Micron, thanks to our team, thanks to our technology, products, and of course, manufacturing excellence. We are very proud of what we have been able to accomplish in these challenging times.
Well, Sanjay,
you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. In these challenging times, we are absolutely focused on our people first. Right. And yes, we have taken steps to really help them cope with some of the environment we currently have. Would love to talk about it.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that right up top because I want others to take your challenge, to come up, to do what you're doing, to say instead of when things got tough, let's lay people off, you say things get tough, these people are family, and I'm going to help them. It's a new way. It's a new way, a different paradigm in America because business is the greatest source for social change, and you've adopted. Now, stronger data center demand really was an amazing part of the Micron story. And that obviously you even say is getting stronger as we go on. That's not lessening.
So, Jim, what's happening is that work from home economy is putting tremendous demand on the data center infrastructure. And you know that data centers require a lot of memory and storage. They are addressing the spike in demand that they're encountering from various institutions, even let's say from law enforcement, from healthcare, and tendency of everybody getting on to e-commerce, gaming. So more demand in data center, absolutely driving greater demand on memory and storage for Micron as well. In addition, what we have seen is work from home economy driving demand for laptops, for needs of businesses, having employees work remotely, as well as we have seen virtual education driving greater demand on the notebook side. This increase in demand is offset by weakening smartphone demand. Mm-hmm. In China, we saw in February in particular, smartphone demand fell down substantially as the China economy weakened. The production in China is now back on and consumer is starting to buy. That's what our customers are telling us. So China is definitely coming back in terms of having contained the spread of the coronavirus. But as we know, we have challenge in other parts of the globe with the expanding coronavirus situation, and that we project will overall result in weakness in the smartphone demand. So yes, data center, laptop demand, higher than we had expected, right. And Micron products are well positioned in those markets. And over the course of next few months, and as we get through these challenging times, Micron is well positioned in terms of making any adjustments in driving our mix, staying close to our customers and meeting their demand requirements. And long term, after we get to the other side of this pandemic, which brings about uncertainty and certainly throws challenges in all parts of the business, as we get to the other side of this pandemic over the course of next few months, then, we do see that the demand trends remain secular in nature. 5G, AI, autonomous, IoT, all of this needs more memory and more storage in the long term.
Yes.
But we certainly have to get through the uncertain and challenging times of the next few quarters. And very important for all of us to make sure we do our part in containing this virus, the spread of this virus.
Okay, so Sanjay, I read again yesterday, President is trying to figure out what Huawei should be able to get, the giant, really huge company in China, from our producers. Has that been resolved? Do we know how much Micron's business is allowed to proceed with Huawei, or is it on hold?
So what we had shared in our December earnings call was that we have received licenses from the administration for supplying to certain parts of the Huawei business. Of course, through this period, since Huawei was placed on the entity listing and restrictions were placed in terms of shipments to Huawei, we have not been shipping anything, and we have not even asked for licenses related to the telecommunications part of Huawei business.
Wow.
But you know that they're a large player. Huawei is a large player on the mobile phone side as well. And Micron, through our licenses that we have received, have been supplying product to Huawei. And we have said, even in December earnings call, that if there is any change in this regard that impacts our licenses, of course, that will impact our revenue opportunity with Huawei. What I would like to point out is it's not just us. It's really actually the entire semiconductor industry is a big supplier to Huawei. And if any actions are taken that limit the ability of the industry to ship to Huawei, of course, it will impact the semiconductor industry. It will impact us too. But the point here, Jim, is that our business has also expanded to other customers. Indeed. While Huawei remains a relatively large customer, still we have diversified our business in various end market segments and across the globe. Our end markets are, of course, from data center to smartphone.
No, you're much bigger,
PCs,
much bigger than that.
To IoT, very well diversified markets.
Well, anyway, I want to thank you. Great quarter. Too bad the market was down badly today. I think your stock would have been up again. That's Sanjay Mehrotra, who's President and CEO of Micron Technology. What a quarter. All new business trends. MU's the best way to play it. Mad Money's back after the break.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.